Hello, my name is Grace Butler,
Hi, I'm Katie Duggan.
and this is the Are You Well podcast. Yeah, so this week, myself and Katie were saying that we would just chat with everyone about kind of good practices, good daily practices and habits that people can incorporate into their lives just to bring a little bit more stability or to improve your health, or that are just kind of fun and interesting. So I suppose, first of all, Katie, what day to day, what kind of practices do you have in your life that you could not live without, or that you feel are beneficial?
Coffee.
Love
my
coffee.
day does not start without a cup of coffee. So these days, what I've been doing is trying to embrace the slow life, or the kind of unwinding and enjoying in the moment, and making the most of this time, and not having to be up out of bed and gone somewhere. So I have my cup of coffee, I get back into bed, and I read for an hour. So
Oh, I like
that's
that.
my, yeah. And then obviously I do my yoga and meditation as well. But this has been a new kind of thing that I'm just really like. I go to bed looking forward to this little thing that I've started in the mornings. So
I really like that, because that's such a nice way to get yourself out of the bed, is when you're getting back into it.
yeah. And like, because it's early in the morning, say between 7:30 and 8:30, like, you're not really on the phone, you're not looking at emails, you're not looking at Facebook. So it's a real time of just you, the coffee, and the book. And it's
Yeah.
lovely. And the
And what are
sun
you
beating in, and
what are you reading at the moment?
it's a big, massive book called Advanced Chakra Healing. And
Okay,
it,
cool.
oh my God, it dives deep. It's a
Really?
very old book. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
old book, and it talks about different pathways. It talks about the soul and spirit. It talks about feelings. It talks about, oh my God, so much. You'll have to look it up. Unreal.
I will.
Um,
I apologize there. My phone just squawked at me. I don't know what it's doing. I think somebody was trying to ring me on WhatsApp. That was weird. Yeah, one thing I love about the chakra system in general is you can either it's like, do you remember we were talking a couple of weeks ago about, I love to get like the short story and then the long story. What I
yeah,
love about the chakra system is you can skim along the top, and then you can go a little bit deeper, and you can go a little bit deeper, and there's no there's no end to it.
it's a
As to,
bottomless pit.
oh,
Yeah, it
the
just
like the
goes on.
information, yeah, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. But yeah, I love that. I love that whole thing of like getting up and having your coffee and then chilling out for a little while and reading your book. That's a
Yeah,
really
it's
nice.
really, I'm being really nice to myself early on in the day, like at the very, very
Yeah,
beginning of the day. And
yeah,
then I have kind of, I wouldn't say lazy time, but I have my kind of lazing around, or that kind of slow time. So then I'm okay with doing jobs then later on, like
yeah.
cooking or cleaning or washing or work or whatever, because I've had that kind of downtime first thing. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
been
that
really,
is
really nice.
that's really nice. I like how you said as well about being nice to yourself. I think that's in general that's very important at the moment,
Mm.
because with the slowdown in pace and with the change of pace, I know the first 2 weeks of this whole saga, I was very just hard on myself and agitated and kind of
Mm.
constantly wanting to do, being like, no, I have all of this time now, I should do this and I should do this and I should do this.
Yeah.
Whereas the last 2 weeks, say, I have taken a completely different approach, and now I'm rewarding myself for everything that I do, in not in such a way that like, oh, well done, you've changed your socks, good job. I just mean in that, like, I'll get like a couple of different bits done, and rather than being, whereas before I would have been like, okay, I got those done, but now I need to do this, and this, and focusing on the things I hadn't done. Whereas now I'm kind of trying to be like, well, look, you got all of those done, so that's good, well done. Like the other day, I went out the back garden and tidied up the garden, and felt
Oh, nice.
so good after it. And I was just looking
Yeah.
at everything. I was like, look, it's so funny. All of my plant pots are now evenly spaced. I
Oh,
don't know
you
what
see,
it is about like
I would
spacing
love that
things.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that
yeah.
with kitchen cupboards lately.
Yeah, yeah,
trying to fit
absolutely.
things in a fridge neatly and orderly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It boils down to the little things.
oh, 100%, absolutely. And I think it's so funny because at the moment, in general, a daily practice that I am doing is as much as I can and as much as I think about it, I'm taking a step back to appreciate all of the simple things that are around me,
Mm,
because I know I know I'm not the only one who does this, but we all get so caught up in the fast pace of life that we're constantly working towards the next thing, or we're constantly going towards the next goal, or we're like, oh, I have to do this and I want to achieve that and I want to buy this and da 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 da. And because we're always kind of, and it's because we're always looking ahead and we're kind of aiming for something, we nearly forget to appreciate what we have right now and what's in front of
mm,
us right now. So, like, I've stopped walking with my headphones in. I know with the headphones, I often, most of the time, leave the headphones at home, and I'm going for a
mm.
walk and I'm like listening to the birds, and it's just so nice to hear the birds without the sound
Yeah.
of traffic in the background.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's really
Mm.
nice, like, even just sitting out the back garden and just appreciating the sunshine, like, and it, rather than being kind of like, oh, it's sunny and I can't go anywhere, it's more a case of how lucky I might be able to sit out my back garden now and chill out in the sunshine.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's like a mix of gratitude as well, be about appreciating what's there and being grateful for it.
Mm. Speaking about outside and like saying, oh, I should be here, there, and everywhere, I've been having my lunch outside, which
So
is really nice.
nice.
Like I'm either eating my lunch in the car, I'm eating my lunch in between clients, or I'm
Mm.
just mindlessly desk dining.
Yes, yes, yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
snacking. So I'm taking my time to cook a nice meal, and then I'll take off my shoes, go outside, and
Mm.
just sit
Mm.
and be like,
That sounds lovely.
because most of the time I'd probably be inside teaching a class, or I'd be driving somewhere to have a meeting, or I wouldn't have that time to do it. So
Hmm.
it's been really nice to just do that and not have to live in the car all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many like, so okay, so there's like a 50-50, not even a 50-50, it's probably a 30-70 split at the moment between, from what I'm hearing anyway, of people who are despising lockdown or whatever you want to call this, and then you have me. I am loving this
Yeah.
week and last week. I am loving this life because I'm getting things done work wise, and
Mm,
that kind of a thing. But it's also just been really nice to be able to incorporate different practices and different things throughout the day or throughout the week. Because I have so much time now, I can try and incorporate 3 or 4 different practices in a day and see what
mm,
sticks. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because I like, so for example, I've had a meditation practice. I've had a consistent meditation practice now since kind of last August. So I do 20 minutes of mantra meditation every single morning. It's the first thing I do when I get out of bed. I'd be bleary eyed when I'm sitting down on the couch to do it. But it really does, it really sets me up for the day. And I dropped it there for about a week and a half when this all started, because
Mm,
I was like, Merp, don't need to do anything, Merp, don't need to do meditation. And wow, did I feel it. I
yeah.
really missed it. Not so much in that I actively missed it, but it was only after a week or so I noticed that like my attention span was gone to the dogs. My appetite was gone ridiculous, as in I had no self-control whatsoever. And I was starting to get really forgetful and really scatty again. So I brought back in the meditation, but then this week, on top of the, as well as the meditation, I brought in some breath work. So I don't know if you've heard of Wim Hof.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm doing that. So I do 20 minutes of Wim Hof breath work. It's a guided video that he did on YouTube. So I
Mm,
do 20 minutes of that before my meditation, and it's lovely.
yeah.
It's really nice. It's completely different to anything I've ever done before, and it's lovely to get you into. If for anyone who really struggles with meditation, this would be a really good way to get you mindful at least. Because it's a very aggressive way to focus on your breath. But it has been really nice as an additional thing. And then after my meditation, I probably are surrounded, sort the animals out for a few minutes, and then I go in and I do like a 20-minute or half-hour yoga practice. And I found, and so there, I would have always had the meditation, but the breath work and the yoga first thing in the morning are new. And it's been lovely just to kind of incorporate those things and see what works, see what I like, see what I don't like, and kind of add different practices in around that then as well. But they do set you up for the day. Like I am zen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am zened out at the moment. I am so
but
chill.
Yoga and breath work actually prepare you for meditation.
Yeah.
So because like if you go into meditation straight away and you're really stressed, whereas if you go in and you do an activity like yoga or breath work, you're releasing some of that tension before you go into your meditation, so you can have a more relaxed, not necessarily, there's no bad meditations, but you just have more of a relaxed meditation,
less resistant.
less war with yourself. I find that normally I don't get to do like hour-long yoga sessions myself, because I'll have yoga in the morning and then yoga in the evening as working for classes. So what I've been doing is longer yin yoga sessions, restorative yoga sessions, and really just like basking in the blissfulness of slow yoga, which I don't practice enough. So once a week I'm trying to do a yin or restorative, where you hold the poses for like 10 breaths or maybe 10 minutes. And you really just allow the body to open, and it's just lovely. You just forget, like when you become a teacher, you forget how nice it is to practice and kind of just, really dive deep into it.
And I suppose one thing I'm learning, because up until kind of recently for me, yoga was yoga and that was it. There was just yoga. But now I've learned that there are so many different types of yoga. So what I've been messing around with this week is tantra yoga, which is lovely because it's something it's like your pelvic floor and that part of your body is not something that you'd pay a whole lot of attention to, but it's really beneficial because it's just as much a mental practice as it is a physical practice. And then to kind of lie down afterwards then and for shavasana and I've really been can feel the energy settling, then it's been really nice. It's just nice to try different types of practices.
It's lovely to explore. That's what I'm loving about this whole thing. It's like, what can I dive into? But what I have found is I can't do too many things at one time because I just get frazzled. Just give me one or two new things to focus in on, try those for the week, and then see how they go. And if I'm not vibing with them, it's just like, that's not for me. Like there's some yoga that I just don't like doing, and there's some meditations that I don't like doing. I like a certain time limit and I like a certain pace as well, but I'm very open to trying different things just to see. And then oftentimes I'm surprised, I'm like, oh, actually that's something I'll keep, and just keep doing that then as well. But the reading, the extra long yoga and the slow yoga have been my newbies this last while.
Another thing I've actually learned about myself this week, and I had said this to you briefly before, one thing I love about your yoga classes is at any given time, without looking at the clock, I know by you roughly how much time is left. And so I have realized now that whether you're meditating, doing breath work, or it's yoga, that is vital for me. I need to know how long I have left. Otherwise, all I think about is how long is left. I'm like, how long have I left? How long have I left? How long is left? So this morning I did a different breathwork video with a different practitioner. And at no point throughout the video had I a clue. With Wim Hof, his videos are 3 rounds of 30 breaths, but I was doing one video twice, so I was doing 6 rounds of 30 breaths. So it's 20 minutes, but yet because I knew at any given time how many rounds I had left, it went by like that. But with the other video that I did this morning, the video was 15 minutes, and I was there breathing away, and I was like, is this ever going to end? Am I done yet? Am I done yet? And I can't. I find it difficult to settle into it. I'd say if somebody was standing over me going, "You have 4 hours left," I would have been like, "Okay, no hassle."
Yeah,
But
but you
because
see, the mind will find something to distract, anything to distract you from
yeah,
settling the mind. It'll
hmm
look for anything.
anything at all.
I every time I sometimes just do silent meditation, just silence,
Oh.
nothing, just sit 15 minutes, and it is just lovely. But there's sometimes that is really tough, and I just set a timer on my phone for
Mm.
15 minutes, and I'll use the excuse, go, oh, I wonder is my phone on silent, I wonder is my battery dead, I better check it now to see. And I'll just bring myself out, and I'm like, oh my god, you just gave in, like, you know.
Yeah.
And like every time the alarm goes off without fail, but if it's a time when I just can't settle into the meditation, I'll be like, oh, I wonder what time it is. Oh, maybe I set it for 15 hours instead of 15 minutes. I better just check it out again. Yeah, and I just don't even try. Then I'm like, okay, now is not the right time. And there is sometimes that it's not the right time to meditate, because you're
Oh,
just fighting with
sometimes
yourself.
it's torture. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
actual torture. This
So I
morning
just give it
now,
up.
my meditation this morning was lovely. Really, 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 really nice. Because I did the video where I was lying there going, is this going to ever end? But when that video ended, I knew I wasn't in the headspace to meditate. So I did 3 rounds of the Wim Hof breathing, then instead the guided video. And I flew through that no hassle, and then went into my meditation, and it was lovely. But then I did the yoga and basically zoned out then for, I'd say I was probably lying on, so I was probably lying on the mat for 15 minutes after it ended, just pondering away and kind of trying to feel how my body felt and see, like, am I sore, am I stiff, what's going on today? But it was so between my meditation and then Shavasana, I was just floating
Melty.
around the house this morning. Like, this is
I love that though.
lovely.
I love
Oh,
that.
it's such a lovely feeling. It's really, really nice.
And when we're in, say, normal life or whatever that used to be, when we do our meditations and our yogas, we have that feeling. It's short-lived because it's back into the car, back into work, back here, back there. Someone rings, we have to be here. So it's
Yeah.
lovely to do these practices and really enjoy the after effects of them as well.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's just, oh, I'm trying to just keep myself in that kind of mindset of, this is going to pass. So make the
Yeah.
most of it. Slow down, rewind, go back, be
Mm,
lazy, and decide to be lazy. And I
yeah.
don't mean lazy, but to just, I know we said in the last one, just be. And
But
it's
just consciously make the
conscious.
decision to chill
Yeah,
out.
yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing now on Sundays. I'm like, Sunday is a day of rest. And I
Mm-hmm.
will rest. And if I don't go for a walk, it's not a big deal. Yeah, so it's just lovely. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Yeah, I think we have an awful tendency, at least I like, so I'm now using this is something I noticed yesterday, but I am now using the step counter on my phone as a stick to beat myself with. So I'm like, last night I was obsessively walking up the road when it was dark to get my 10,000 steps. And I'm like, I was up the road and I was like, great. I was like, I have to
Turn
get
around.
10,000. I have to get 10,000. And the thing about it is I had like 8,500, and I knew that I had done more because my phone was sitting on the deck for like 2 hours
Mm,
yesterday while I was arsing around the garden and in and out
mm,
cleaning and doing bits and bobs. So I knew in my logical mind that I had gotten 10,000 steps, but because my phone didn't say it, it didn't count. And then I copped this going up the road, and because I had tricked myself into being like, no, you're doing a good thing. You're trying to get your 10,000 steps. But I wasn't. I wasn't trying to get my 10,000 steps for my health. I was obsessing over the metric. And
yeah,
then when
the
I realized that
numbers.
I was obsessing over the metric, I was like, go home and sit down. And I turned around straight away. Then I was like, go home,
Ah,
sit down and relax. But I just thought that was kind of funny because I feel like that's probably human behavior anyway. I think, are we constantly looking for a stick to beat ourselves with in some way or
oh
another?
yeah, anything
Yeah.
at all to bring us down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So on the topic of daily practices and daily habits and things, um, uh, uh, what am I trying to say? one thing that has helped me massively with getting into a rhythm of doing yoga every day and getting into a rhythm of doing more than one meditation practice in a day, is your 7 chakras in 7 days workshop on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you want to give, so Katie facilitated a workshop on Facebook last week, and then I participated in the workshop. So do you want to give people an overview or an introduction to it from your
Yeah,
standpoint?
so there's 7 major chakras, and we spread them out over 7 days. We did one a day, and that just allowed you to really embrace the mantras, the affirmations, the energies, the foods, the color, the information, and whether your chakra was out of balance or in balance. So it was really funny. Like, a lot of people didn't have a clue about chakras, didn't have a clue about energy, didn't have a clue about this system at all. But by the end of it, they knew what was working, what was overactive, what was underactive, and how it played out in their lives. So it was amazing. It was very much a beginner's guide, very simple information with yoga and meditation each day. And I think a lot of my students probably did more meditation yoga in that week than they have done in the last couple of months. And it was lovely because everybody was showing up. A lot of it was live, all of it was live, but it was saved on the wall, so everybody could do it in their own time, which was good. And some people
Yeah.
signed up a little bit later so they could join in. So yeah, it was really lovely to see where everybody was. And yeah, it blew my expectations, to be honest.
Well, it blew my expectations as well, because so I had already had some experience with the chakra systems from my own research, really, and my own kind of trying to, like I mentioned this before about my little journey of self-discovery that I kind of was forced onto at the start of last year. And that was when I kind of discovered the chakra system first. And I remember reading about it, and as I was reading, I was like, this makes so much sense. And that was my introduction kind of to like Eastern medicine, Eastern ways of thinking, holistic health, I suppose, really would be a better word for it. But then I knew the course was going to be good because I knew that any amount of focusing on your energy is always good, you know. So I knew that it would be beneficial. But I was really blown away by how it was just lovely. It was a lovely atmosphere. That even in a Facebook group, it was a really nice atmosphere. Everyone was very interactive. The information that you were giving out was great because you were skimming along the top and giving I'm just putting in really good foundations, I suppose, and giving people something to work with. Because I think with anything like when you're learning about energy systems or the chakra system or anything like that, what works for you might not work for me, and then you will resonate with different modalities than I will. But I thought that this gave a really lovely overview, but then it also, without even realizing, helped me anyway with incorporating the habits of doing yoga every day and having an extra meditation practice every day, because you were somewhat held accountable by the fact that it's 7 chakras in 7 days. And so I did it yesterday and I have to do it today because I'll have a new one to do tomorrow. And
exactly.
So
there's a little bit of pressure, but not in a like you have to do it all kind of thing, you know.
No, it was definitely, I want to do this for myself, and I think that's the best kind of pressure.
Absolutely,
because it's for nobody else but you. And I suppose for anybody listening to this, do you want to give a brief overview of the chakra system for anybody who's listening that may not have heard of the chakra system before?
Brief overview of chakra system. Okay, how can we package this up? Okay, so there are actually 72,000 energy lines that we know of, and probably many, many more. But there's 7 major ones that are from your tailbone in a straight line, working all the way up to the crown of your head, and they are all linked to your endocrine system. And when they're out of balance, you will certainly know, and when they're in balance, you'll certainly know, because you'll feel good or you won't feel so good. And you can balance it through yoga, meditation, food, all different ways, but it gives you a great sense of yourself. So for example, at the moment, a lot of people's root chakras will be out of whack because there's fear. People's safety is under threat. People's finances are under threat. Another place that might feel out of balance is the solar plexus in the center of the belly, because people's freedom is being challenged because they can't go out. Throat chakra in the middle of your throat, people can't express themselves, maybe because they're living in a household where they can't, if they open their mouth, they might get in trouble or cause a row, you know. So there's a lot of how your chakras can affect your life. Well, everything
totally.
about your chakras affect your life. So, and they all have different colors. So say that they're all the colors, 7 colors of the rainbow are your 7 chakras. So yeah, it's all very relevant. And if I start now, I'll go on tangent.
I know, I'm the same. I could talk about the chakras for days, because I feel like discovering the chakra system and then learning about the chakra system in general, but then learning about my own chakra system changed my life completely. And it's so funny, because now I can look back at different things. So for example, my root chakra has probably been out of balance for the vast majority of my life, and hence why I went from being slightly anxious to debilitating anxiety over a span of a few years, because I never paid it any attention, didn't know it existed. I was just anxious, and I was taking medication for anxiety, and that was really it, you know what I mean? I was trying different things, but like mindfulness, I was told by a few different people to practice mindfulness, but even now, if somebody told me to sit down and do 20 minutes of mindfulness, I'd sooner bang my head off a wall. Because I can be mindful for 2 minutes, and then the mind starts to wander, and then you focus back on your breath, and then the mind wanders again, and then you're back on your breath, and then I'm like, I don't care about my breathing anymore, and the thoughts continue to bubble up. But it never got any on my root chakra. I had never given my root chakra any attention because I never knew it existed. And then, as I said, the anxiety got exponentially worse over time. But then when I discovered the chakra system, and I started realizing, making all of these connections from like my life and how I was reacting to certain situations and how I was feeling, and be able to relate this back to my root chakra, and then be able to come up with ways to heal that and to balance it. The chakra system gives you a lovely framework, because you start from the bottom, because everyone starts from the start. You start from, so it's not like we're all starting at different points. You just start with your root chakra and work your way up, and you will not be long figuring out what's out of balance and what's in balance. So another example for me of how chakra imbalance manifested physically was my sacral chakra was just bam closed for years and years and years as well. But how that manifested with me was chronic back pain, which I have had for a very long time in my lower back, but also sciatica. So around the time where it was really shut down and I was dealing with things that were affecting my sacral chakra, I got sciatica out of nowhere. It came from nowhere. And then as the issues relating to my sacral chakra, as the outside circumstances started to change, so then it wasn't as big of an issue, the sciatica went away. But I never made that connection until much, much later. So it's funny how these things that are going on emotionally and mentally can then manifest themselves physically in your body and actually give you physical symptoms. And when I learned that, that just blew everything out of the water. Then,
Yeah.
oh, because
But like everything starts with energy.
mm-hmm.
A thought is energy. So if
Yeah.
you repeatedly have the same thoughts, or you repeatedly have the same energy moving around into your body, it's going to move into a mass. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
become dense. It's going to be a thing. And your body can only store so much. And this gets harder and harder and harder. And like that manifests into back pain, sciatica, chronic IBS, or
Mm-hmm.
headaches, or migraine, or elbow pain, or hip
Yeah.
pain. And it's all, if you bring it back, it's probably an emotion, a feeling, a situation, something that happened in the past that just hasn't been dealt with. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not that your chakras are like bad or anything like that, but like we all have stuff that we've just swept under the carpet,
Oh, totally.
and just, and like if you shut down one chakra, that's going to feed into the next one and pull that down, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and suddenly there's that flow is being locked. And people
Mm-hmm.
always say to me, how am I so stiff, in yoga? And I've experienced it myself, because I'm probably, well, used to be the most unflexible person ever, but it was just my whole thinking
Mm-hmm.
that made me stiff, because I was very rigid. um but once I kind of started to know my own energy, I could release that, because you want to be your own master. You don't want to keep going
Yes.
to physios and doctors and help me and this, that, and the other thing. Like, you can heal yourself, like, but you
Mm-hmm.
just have to have the tools, the techniques, and
Yeah.
knowledge is power,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
everything, chakras relate to everything.
Oh,
It
everything.
relates to
This
your
is
job, it relates to your relationships, it relates to your way of living.
your
It's just, I
motivation, your
absolutely,
self
yeah, your thinking,
confidence,
yeah.
your anxiety, your ability to express yourself, your ability to
Mm,
love others, your ability to love yourself.
yeah.
Everything,
And
absolutely
it's so
everything. You
nice.
name it, I can relate it. Like, we can relate it back to a
Yeah.
chakra in some way, shape, or form. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and that's why I was saying in the course at the end of it, like, would you like 7 weeks of a chakra? Because you could take one chakra a week and really dive deep and really
Yeah.
implement it into your life and live that chakra for the week. You could do
Yeah.
one chakra a month. It's
That's what
so
I did this time last year. Was I
mm,
focused on my root chakra. I gave my root chakra, I'd say, a solid month and a half. And
yeah,
then once, it was so funny, because once I really worked on that, everything else seemed to kind of snap into place to a
yeah.
point where I could move forward. Because at that up to that point I was kind of paralyzed. Um but yeah, it's funny, you could focus on it for a day and then come back to it next week, or you can focus on it for a
Yeah.
month. You could
Yeah, and like, you can just pick one that is feeling out of balance, and your whole life will start to change positively.
for anyone
But you
who's
just
listening
have
to
to,
this, who's curious about their own chakras, one thing that I found really, really, really helpful when I started looking into the chakra system was I just did one of those quizzes online. And
yeah,
it was like 60 odd questions, but it gave me something to
mm,
start with. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
it gives you a starting point. Yeah.
yeah, it just gives you a starting point, or
Mm.
just start with your root chakra and move up. As I said, you won't be
Yeah.
long about figuring it out. You'll
Mm.
know, things will
And
start to resonate.
you'll fly through the ones that are balanced, and you will start crying, or you'll get
Hmm.
frustrated, or you'll get angry, or you'll throw something at the
Yeah.
ones that, or you'll be like, oh, I don't like that pose, or I hate that
Yeah.
meditation, and it'll be
Yeah.
because that chakra is out of balance, and it'll
Yeah.
touch a nerve.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting. Like, sure, I was doing it with you as I was facilitating it, and oh, I was like, oh, here we go now, here we go. Oh, that's what I was
It's
saying. Like,
coming.
I went there, and because while you're in this human form, they will never be 100% balanced, because
No.
we are human, and
Hmm.
we'll have stronger chakras and we'll have weaker chakras, just as we have a stronger side of our body and a weaker side of our body, or
Hmm.
we have talents and we have things that we're not so good at, and that's what makes us human.
Oh,
But
totally.
if you make the effort to explore that, chakra imbalancement, it'll come back to you tenfold, the benefits.
Oh, well, I feel like I would say, if I was to go on percentages, mentally, emotionally, physically, I am 200% in a better position. Not in a better position, but I feel much better in myself than, say, before I had discovered the chakra system.
Oh yeah, because it
Um,
makes sense, because you can
mhm,
finally put down into words or feelings why you feel a certain way,
mhm.
and even if you never repair it, at least you know.
Yeah,
So it's not this unknown phenomenon why you feel a certain way. You're like, oh, I know that because I'm out of balance in that
but
place. You're like, oh, okay.
it's like what you say, knowledge is power, and the knowledge of yourself is power,
Yeah,
self-awareness. And I found that,
self-awareness. Yeah.
once I figured out um that my root chakra was out of whack, then I could not help but ponder on why. And that kind of moved forward then, and then all of these things started to come up from my childhood and from my past and from past relationships and past jobs and da 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 da, about all of these little things that had contributed to it, and all of these patterns that I had missed,
Yeah.
all of these things that were repeating, like common denominators that were repeating throughout different relationships or different dynamics. And once I copped them then, and I was like, oh, I see where that started.
Yeah.
And once I figured out what the actual trigger, so if I got triggered, and once I figured out what the actual source was, it had no power over me anymore, because I knew what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So something had come up, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I know. And I just move on from it, that kind of a way.
Yeah. You just don't let yourself go there again.
No, not even. Yeah, it's like, right, okay, been there, done that, answered that question, moving on swiftly. But that it's this is why I love Eastern medicine, because as far as general day-to-day life goes, obviously Western medicine has its place. If you have an infection, go to the doctor, get antibiotics. There are plenty of illnesses that need to be treated within Western medicine. But what I like about Eastern medicine is you can bring that into your home. You can bring that in so you can adopt those practices and those teachings. And it's a much, obviously it is a holistic way of looking at things. So it's looking at your whole life, looking at your diet and how that contributes to how you're feeling physically, and then look at what's going on emotionally and how that relates to how you're feeling physically, and then how they all intertwine with each other. And I've noticed, like, say, even I get really hot in my body, and I sweat a lot. If I'm anyway stressed, I sweat a lot. And I was looking up then, reading about like Ayurveda, and reading about different body types, and then I was like, oh, I have a pitta imbalance. And once I realized that, there was all of these little things that I could be doing, foods that I could be eating, teas that I could be drinking.
Yeah, to balance it out.
Yeah, and it does help. I noticed that today. I was like, I'm way cooler than I was. So that, yeah, I love Eastern medicine for that, because I think it's empowering. It's empowering people to look after themselves and to dive a little bit deeper, and rather than be looking at, so say for example, me at the moment, I have psoriasis. So rather than me being like, oh, I need to go get some hydrocortisone off the doctor to treat my psoriasis, I now know that is from something I'm eating. It's not, so I can put the hydrocortisone on it, but it's going to come back next week unless I stop eating dairy. Do you know what I mean? So it does, it arms you with plenty of information to mind yourself.
Yeah. But it's all about looking at yourself rather than looking outside of yourself. Like the doshas go out into months as well, and the different seasons. So I thrive in September, October. Like this time of year is very difficult for me. Height of summer is very difficult for me, because like that I get really hot, I get psoriasis, I get really agitated. Different countries suit me better, different climates, so I know all of that, and I just have to be extra cautious. And self-care is a major thing when you know those times of year are coming up. It's like, okay, how can I armor myself with the right food, the right downtime, you know, all those kind of things. Like, yeah, so so important, because when you know, you can set yourself up for getting through it as scot-free as possible, you
Yeah,
know.
and as well as that, it's even to kind of like, I used to think I was so like, I used to get really bothered by the fact that I sweat so much. And not
Mm.
from a like, just from kind of, I'd get self-conscious and I'd feel horrible, and I
And you'd
wouldn't really
sweat
want to be,
more.
yeah, and I wouldn't really want to be near people because I'd be like in my own head, I'm like, do I smell? And it
Mm.
just, it kind of made it made me feel kind of weird. But then when I learned about this, and because I realized then it was a thing
Mm.
that other people were experiencing as well, and I, oh,
I'm not alone.
yeah, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
there's ways to fix it, and without me going to the doctor or going to whatever.
Mm.
So it's like just having that knowledge and being able to apply it to yourself, and like what you said,
Yeah,
being able to look at yourself and see
yeah. See yourself
what's
as a
actually
whole.
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Katie, you have another course coming up.
I do.
Would you like to tell us
Yes.
about that?
So everyone was saying, "Oh, what's next after this?" You know, everybody really enjoyed showing up, being
Oh yeah.
accountable, being involved in something, building a community, and instilling yoga and meditation into their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, right, let's do, because lockdown, you know, we got the news, was before Easter anyway, that we'd be in lockdown for another 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
I have it in my head that we are like at least end of May, start of June. That's what I have in
Yeah.
my head, and I'm just going with
But
that for now.
yeah, so look, it's going to be a month anyway,
I'm
at least.
preparing for
So I
disaster,
said,
so
yeah. So I said, why not, you know, make a course that will occupy that time?
mm-hmm.
So I came up with 21 days, because it takes 21 days to create a habit and change neuropathic pathways in your brain as
Mm-hmm.
well. So really instill these new habits that you are working on. So it's called 21 Days to Become a Fitter, Healthier, Happier You.
I like it.
So yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be really, it won't take up much time of your day, you know, maybe an hour of your day, but it'll be split between the different practices.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to repeat things to make them a habit. That's how we learn, is repetition, repetition, repetition. So we'll do a daily yoga practice, half an hour. We'll be doing a daily meditation practice, 15 to 20 minutes maybe, and it'll all be guided. And then each day there'll be special features or bonuses, and affirmations. So there'll be lots of little bits
Amazing.
thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
And you can see your progress each week. So again, we'll start on day 1 on week 2, and you'll see your progress from week 1, and you'll be completely supported by myself, the other people, like you seen from the course, the last course.
Oh yeah, like
everybody was just, oh my God, so amazing. So interactive.
Yeah, everyone was so supportive. And the thing about just to go back to the chakras for a second, the thing about when you're working on your energy system, or on these energy points, things get emotional. So like,
Yeah.
so I was saying this to you last week. For my lower chakras, that's where I live my life in my upper chakras. So to work on the lower chakras, I find absolutely exhausting. It's really tiring in a good way. But then to go on and then to see that other people were commenting with the same thing, feeling the same way that I was feeling, and some people like when we came to the heart chakra, there was, for me anyway, there was a lot of tears, and to be able to go into the group and see that other people are experiencing the same things and are reacting in similar ways, that's lovely, and it's supportive, and it's encouraging, and there's accountability attached to that then as well.
Absolutely.
And it's also really nice just to like be building a little community, because obviously not that the chakra system is not a new discovery, but it's a relatively new thing in Ireland, say, to come into people's spheres, and it's kind of becoming a little bit, it's edging closer to mainstream now. More and more people are learning about it. But it's so nice then to have a group of people that are all on the same page, that are like-minded and are working on the same things, and that makes everything a lot easier, and it made me a little bit more excited and kind of looking forward to the lives, to see the questions that other people are asking. So
yeah, and I love
yeah.
that as well, the Q&As. So what I
Yeah.
am going to do in this one as well is have weekly check-ins, and
Yeah.
that's not to say, oh, how much weight have you lost, or oh, how many steps did you do? No, nothing like that. But just see how everybody's getting on, what have they have adapted to, how are they feeling, what has it brought up. So it'll be similar format, as in you'll show up every day, you do your yoga, but it'll be a totally different vibe to the chakras. I think there was no men in the last one, so I'm hoping men will sign up for this one, because everybody wants to feel fitter. So by doing yoga for 21 days consecutively, you are going to build strength physically, mentally, and emotionally. Same with meditation. It's a muscle. You have to work the mind muscle. How you do that is through meditation. And then there'll be different tools, tips, techniques, and bonus sessions that I'll be throwing in there as well. So I'm really excited to get going on that now as well on Saturday.
So when when is it? It's this Saturday. It started.
It's this Saturday, but you can join in at any time. So if you end up joining in on the last day, you just continue for the next 21 days, because it'll all be everything will be there, and you just have to follow through, and the group will always be there as long as Facebook is going to be there. So you have a lifetime access, really. Same with the chakra course. Some of the women have went back and started the course all over again. So you have it forever, and you get to see your progress. And each time you go back, then you see something new, or you hear something that you didn't hear before. So I'm really excited because I have goals and things that I want to achieve over these 21 days. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I was going to say something. Oh yeah, so the chakra course then, that's still open for people to join if they wish.
People can still message me, and I'll send you the link on how to join the group, and they can still do that if they want. Because it's still active, it's still, everything is still there. I think 2 people signed up the other day, so yeah, people are signing up all the time. But there might be an ebook at some point. Just because some people prefer kind of something to go from page 1 to page 21 or whatever. So that's going to be something that's going to come out of that course. But I think, especially because we have this time now to look inward and to really implement, I think it's a really good time to get fitter, healthier, and happier.
Definitely.
Because we can definitely go the other way. It's very easy to go the other way. Whereas this course is a very low commitment. It's not a big deal. It's, like the chakra course, how long does it take you every day to get through it? Like,
oh sure,
an hour and a half.
At the very, very most.
And you could take it half an hour at a time as well.
The way I was doing it was I joined in live as and when I could, but I'm also really funny about swapping out my daily meditation that I do every morning. So if something interferes with that, then I push it out to later, because I'm just really strict with myself with that one thing. But it's so flexible. So like some evenings I was doing the yoga before bed, and then some mornings I do the yoga in the morning, and it's lovely. It's very flexible, and I just found it to be so beneficial, because even though it was only 7 days, it just drilled it into me to that I do yoga, and I do a second meditation practice every day. So
well, that's one concept I'm going to keep with this course, is allowed to be flexible, because I know people are working and they don't get home till the evenings, so they can do it all in one go. Or they can do a bit in the morning, a bit at lunchtime. I know some women were doing the yoga in work because it's only half an hour, so they could do the yoga and still have their lunch. So it was really like the way people were letting me know how they were doing it. I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
It's great information for you as well, because you can see going forward how you can fit that to other people. So that's I just really enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was just such a lovely, it was a lovely thing to be looking forward to every day. And the restorative yoga on the last day.
Oh wow, yeah,
Oh,
the
it was
full hour
so
chakra healing.
nice.
Oh, I
With
was
all the
actually so
cushions and
emotional
the
at the end
pillows
of
and the
it. Yeah.
blankets. I was like, this is the best day ever.
Well, you see, that's something that I don't normally do in my
Mm,
classes. I do it in workshops and retreats because I
yeah,
have more time, but it's not
yeah.
something that I bring into my usual classes. So any of
Mm,
my regular students got a real treat of like,
yeah.
oh my God, this is just
But that was
pure
exactly what I
comfort.
need. That was exactly what I needed that day,
Mm,
because I woke up that morning and like the thing about working on your chakras, as I said earlier on, is you are moving energy and you're clearing blockages,
yeah,
and that is
yeah.
tiring. It is
Mm,
taxing on the body, and I was
mm.
tired that morning, and I just I was there. I was like, I hope this is nice and cozy and cushy. And it was lovely. It was just like giving myself an hour-long hug. It was so
Yeah.
nice. It was just,
Well,
yeah,
that's yeah, and that's what I wanted. Like after
yeah,
all of your hard work and
yeah.
committing during the week, here's a nice comfort session, like you know.
Yeah,
So
it was
yeah,
lovely because
everyone really. I think I might go do that myself on Sunday or something and just really like get
yeah,
out.
that's what I have in my head is I'm going to do that practice again. I'm going to do that practice once a week because that is just lovely. It's so
Because you
nice.
don't even need to look at it. You can just because you're in the
No.
pose for a little bit of longer time. So
Yeah, it was really, really
yeah.
nice. Well, for
Yeah.
anybody listening, I would give Katie's 7 Chakras in 7 Days course a 19 out of 10.
Oh, thanks, Grace.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Katie, how much is the course?
The chakra course is €21,
Yeah, and worth
and
every
the
penny.
well, you have it for a lifetime, you know,
Yeah,
and you have a lot of good content, as in like yoga classes and meditation classes.
yeah,
You know, it is good
yeah,
value. And then the 21 days, the one starting on Saturday is €25 for 21 days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I think like the thing about it is at the moment is yes, the whole world is a little bit kind of sideways and inside out, but it does provide a great opportunity for people to start to incorporate the habits that they've wanted to
Mm,
or make meaningful changes in their lives that they can like think about it. It takes 21 days to build a habit.
mm,
So at the end of the 21 days, then we're gonna be locked in for another little while. So if at the end, if you come out of this lockdown with two, maybe three really good, healthy habits that you've built for
mm.
yourself, well, isn't that time well spent?
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the other feedback actually from the chakra course, which was just a byproduct of all the hard work, everyone was saying that they were getting compliments on how they looked.
Mm-hmm.
Their hair was shiny. I even noticed
Yeah.
my own skin, and like
Oh
that
yeah.
was unintentional kind of. That was
Yeah.
just feeling good on the inside and it reflecting on the outside. You know,
Yeah.
so
I'll
you can imagine
definitely.
after 21 days, the
Uh-huh.
changes that you'll see physically and feel mentally and emotionally as well. So,
Yeah,
because
like
you
the
can't
thing
not.
the thing about one thing that so back onto the whole Eastern medicine thing is in the Western world we are all it's everything is on the surface. So your
Mm,
hair is dull, you go into Tesco and you buy yourself some shiny shampoo. Your
mm,
skin is gone to the dogs, you're getting yourself all of these different skincare products.
mm,
And rather than so you're treating the symptom but not the cause, but all of
yeah.
these things are caused from internal whatever, so internal
Mm,
turmoil, internal imbalances, internal just something's not right internally.
inside, yeah.
Yeah, and when you focus inward then and you focus on what you're putting into your body and
Mm,
the energy that's in your body and where how it's flowing, how it's not flowing,
mm,
when everything inside is working as it should, then everything outside will also work as it should, because your skin
yeah.
is not being left kind of your body is not, if your body is focused inward all of the time, it's like so as an example, people with very severe eating disorders, one thing that does eventually happen is their hair starts to fall out, because why does their body need to produce hair when it's starving?
Yeah.
And you know, so like why do you need shiny hair and fabulous skin when there's something going on internally that isn't serving you, or that isn't right for your body? And
Yeah.
if we could all kind of turn, it's like what Mark Rose says about food being medicine. He's so right, and that's one thing I like about Dr. Mark Rose. He does take a very holistic approach and does kind of look at everything. But if we look at our whole lives, and we ensure that everything in our lives is optimal, so the food that we're eating, what the stress or what we're putting our bodies through, well then yeah, your skin, if everything is, if you have all of those underlying things and all of those internal things right, yeah, and then your skin, yeah, absolutely, your skin's going to glow and your hair's going to be shiny, and
you won't have to buy all those products then, and you'll save yourself a fortune.
yeah, absolutely. And
I have found those since I started yoga and meditation. I don't buy all those products anymore.
No, either do I. I'm gone off them
completely.
completely.
I was only looking, I don't really wear makeup anymore. I don't, because I don't really need to. I don't feel that I need to. Whereas before I'd have to have under eye makeup, I'd have to have foundation, I'd have to have setting powder, I'd have to, now
all
I
of
just
these
have,
stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
Sometimes I fill in my eyebrows. Sometimes.
I'm going to take my eyelashes and eyebrows after this.
But it's so,
my pamper evening commences.
Yeah, but it's so like it's so funny that we have the tendency to overcomplicate all of these things, but in reality, for the most part, if we just look at how we're treating ourselves, what way is our energy sitting in our body, and what are we putting into our body, that holds an awful lot of the answers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see what these 21 days bring up.
Yeah, so you said that course is starting on Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. But anybody can join at any time. So just get in contact if you're interested.
Amazing. Okay, Katie, will we leave it at that?
We shall.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed episode 4. The support for the podcast has been amazing so far, so thank you very much. If anyone listening to this has any topics that they would like us to cover, any people that you think we should try to get on the podcast, then please get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, email. All of the details are in the show notes below. I've included some links to things that we've mentioned in this week's podcast in the show notes below as well. So yeah, we hope you have a great week, and thank you very much.